The Upachaya Houses, Conscious Growth with Time, Leo Rising, Part 1. From Self to Strategy, where authority meets discipline and the flame learns to focus. For Leo Rising, the Upachaya Houses, 3rd, 6th, 10th, and 11th, serve as the training ground where radiant self-expression is tempered by tactical effort. Ruled by the Sun, Leo seeks to shine, lead, and express from the heart. But the Upachaya Houses are not about glory. They are about growth through pressure, repetition, and integration. They teach Leo Rising that true greatness comes not just from charisma, but from resilience, clarity, and collective alignment. In these houses, Leo must shift from being the center of attention to becoming a focused executor, strategic worker, and team-oriented contributor. The journey is not about dimming their light. It's about aiming it wisely. The 3rd house, Libra, harmonized expression, diplomatic will, and the power of elegant speech. Activated ages 3, 15, 27, 39, 51, 63, 75. Libra, ruled by Venus, brings refinement, fairness, and grace to Leo Rising's 3rd house of courage, skill, communication, and initiative. Here, Leo's natural boldness is asked to soften, not weaken but balance. The voice must become persuasive, not just declarative. Early life may show a tension between the desire to dominate conversations and the need to negotiate or listen. With time, Leo Rising develops into a tactful speaker, capable of advocating without overpowering. This placement gives a flair for storytelling, justice, and artful expression. But true power is accessed when Leo learns that charisma needs calibration, and that influence deepens when paired with empathy. The leader becomes the diplomat. The 6th house, Capricorn, structured effort, patient grind, and karma through discipline. Activated ages 6, 18, 30, 42, 54, 66, 78. With Saturn-ruled Capricorn in the 6th, Leo Rising faces perhaps its greatest test, submitting its fiery pride to cold, hard work. This house governs daily routine, service, conflict, and health. Here, the Sun must report to Saturn. In youth, this often shows up as frustration with authority, difficulty with routine, or resistance to criticism. But over time, Leo Rising discovers that discipline is not a cage. It's a container for mastery. This house calls them to take responsibility in service roles, show consistency under pressure, and lead by example in the workplace. When integrated, this placement yields commanding healers, dignified administrators, or tireless reformers who gain respect not for their crown, but for their constancy. The 10th house, Taurus, sensual karma, patient power, and the art of enduring recognition, activated ages 10, 22, 34, 46, 58, 70, 82. Taurus, ruled by Venus, governs the career and public image of Leo Rising. While Leo seeks fame quickly, Taurus teaches slow, sustainable success. This is a placement where aesthetic, reliability, and material value define public reputation. In youth, Leo may push for attention or assertiveness without understanding timing. But the 10th house matures with patience, and with Taurus here, it rewards consistency, refined presentation, and a grounded sense of purpose. Leo Rising may find success in fields related to finance, design, performance, or any profession requiring both poise and perseverance. The breakthrough happens when they understand that lasting influence is built, not broadcast. The 11th house, Gemini, multifaceted gains, intelligent circles, and influence through ideas. Activated ages 11, 23, 35, 47, 59, 71, 83. Gemini brings Mercury's curiosity, flexibility, and intellect into the 11th house of ambition, gains, and social networks. Leo Rising thrives here by leading through language, ideas, and connection. They are drawn to clever, fast-thinking peers and social circles that challenge their thinking. Early on, this may manifest as scattered goals, superficial alliances, or a tendency to dominate in groups. But over time, they learn that networking is not about being seen, it's about synergy. This house teaches Leo Rising that brains amplify charisma, and that intellectual contribution makes them more than performers. It transforms them into influencers of thought, not just presence. In summary, the Upachaya houses for Leo Rising are a crucible of evolution, where brilliance is tested by routine, where command must become contribution, and where light is refined into lasting leadership. Libra in the 3rd teaches grace in expression. Capricorn in the 6th demands humility and service. Taurus in the 10th rewards grounded creativity. Gemini in the 11th calls for idea-based influence. Through these houses, Leo learns that greatness isn't taken, it is earned through effort, ethics, and endurance. The Upachaya houses, Conscious Growth with Time, Leo Rising, Part 2. 8 most defining conjunctions in the Upachaya houses, where fire learns focus and the leader becomes a builder. For Leo Rising, the Upachaya houses, 3rd, 6th, 10th, and 11th, are the terrain where innate self-confidence is tested by reality. These houses refine the desire to shine into the capacity to sustain influence. With Libra, Capricorn, Taurus, and Gemini ruling these spaces, the fiery Leo soul is taught by air, earth, and discipline. Each conjunction in these houses serves as a karmic checkpoint, revealing whether the lion commands through presence alone or evolves into a leader of process, principle, and people. Sun plus Mercury in the 3rd, the persuasive speaker or the ego-driven debater. In Libra, this conjunction gives Leo rising articulate charm, intellectual appeal, and the ability to lead through ideas and refined expression. It favors careers in media, law, writing, or advocacy. But if afflicted, this creates excessive self-importance in dialogue or a tendency to dominate discussions while appearing diplomatic. Growth comes when Leo rising learns that wisdom listens before it leads, and that charisma paired with clarity yields real change. Venus, Mercury in the 3rd, the harmonious communicator or the people pleaser in debate. This combination makes Leo rising a graceful speaker and mediator. Their charm is undeniable, their words compelling, ideal for diplomacy, publishing, or artistic pursuits. But when afflicted, it leads to conflict avoidance, superficial expression, or difficulty asserting opinions without sugarcoating. Maturity begins when they learn that truth delivered with warmth is more powerful than flattery that hides it. Saturn plus Mars in the 6th, the unyielding executor or the burdened overachiever. In Capricorn, this formidable pair tests Leo rising's endurance. It creates tremendous willpower, precision in work, and strength in crisis. They become experts at systems, timing, and operational discipline. But early on, this leads to burnout, rigidity, or harshness in service environments. Their breakthrough lies in balancing will with wisdom and understanding that rest and rhythm are not weakness, but fuel. Moon Saturn in the 6th, the loyal healer or the emotionally withheld worker. This pairing in Capricorn gives Leo rising emotional restraint and a dutiful approach to work. They carry emotional burdens quietly, often putting responsibility before personal needs. Excellent for caregiving, logistics, or healthcare. Yet if afflicted, it causes internalized stress, repression of needs, or melancholy in daily life. They grow when they realize that serving others is not a substitute for tending to self. Sun plus Rahu in the 10th, the ambitious luminary or the power-hungry performer. In Taurus, this pairing can bring rapid rise in career, public recognition, or success through unconventional methods. Leo rising becomes known for their creative leadership and presence. But if afflicted, it creates inflated ego, obsession with image, or detachment from core values. True growth happens when they use their light to nurture others, not just be adored by them. Venus plus Saturn in the 10th, the elegant achiever or the cautious visionary. This grounded conjunction gives Leo rising a refined, structured, and enduring approach to career. They rise slowly but command deep respect. Perfect for careers in luxury, law, art management, or architecture. But afflicted, it may bring fear of visibility, imposter syndrome, or emotional detachment in public life. They mature when they embrace visibility as responsibility, not burden. Mercury's Mars in the 11th, the tactical networker or the combative collaborator. In Gemini, this combination energizes Leo rising's social intelligence. They can lead communities, drive innovation, and launch powerful initiatives. But when afflicted, it brings arguments within groups, scattered objectives, or ego in alliances. Their success blooms when they listen more than lecture and allow collaboration to deepen their impact. Sun plus Jupiter in the 11th, the community king or the self-righteous idealist. This majestic conjunction blesses Leo rising with vision, generosity, and influence in social networks. They become guides, organizers, or philanthropic leaders. But afflicted, it creates arrogance in ideology or the need to lead without listening. Their evolution lies in mentoring rather than managing, and in seeing leadership as service, not spotlight. In summary, for Leo rising, The Upachaya houses are where the fire of identity meets the responsibility of growth. Libra in the third teaches relational communication. Capricorn in the sixth transforms pride into discipline. Taurus in the 10th tempers ambition into lasting mastery. Gemini in the 11th turns influence into collective evolution. These conjunctions test whether Leo will lead from ego or elevate from essence. When integrated, the lion's roar becomes not just heard, but trusted. The Upachaya houses, Conscious Growth with Time, Leo Rising, Part 3. The sixth house, Capricorn, Karmic Duty, Ego under Discipline, and Mastery through Humble Precision, where the crown must learn to carry the weight of routine and lead without applause. For Leo Rising, the sixth house, Daily Grind, Conflict, Illness, Discipline and Service, falls in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, the great taskmaster. Here, the sun, Leo's regal ruler, meets its karmic tutor. The royal impulse to shine must learn to serve. The craving for recognition must yield to consistency. In the sixth house, Leo Rising cannot lead from charisma alone. They must prove leadership through daily responsibility and endurance. This is one of Leo's most humbling houses. Capricorn does not care for declarations. It demands action, repetition, reliability. The loudest roar means little here. What matters is who shows up every single day. Leo must ground the fire of will into the structure of work and let personal dignity be shaped by how they handle pressure without applause. Let's explore the most defining conjunctions in Capricorn that determine how Leo Rising learns to wear the uniform of duty and not just the robe of status. Saturn plus Sun, the dutiful commander or the insecure performer. This karmic pairing confronts Leo Rising with the tension between ego and obligation. Early in life, it may create insecurity around authority, delayed recognition, or difficulty submitting to systems. But when integrated, it produces ethical strength and leadership through discipline. They earn respect not because they demand it, but because they model it. Great for administration, politics, or policy reform, this yoga teaches that service adds shine to status. Mars plus Saturn, the structured warrior or the suppressed fire. This duo brings incredible endurance and capacity for hard work. Leo Rising becomes the iron backbone of an organization, able to carry heavy burdens without complaint. It's a powerful placement for fields requiring tactical precision, from military to logistics to engineering. But when afflicted, it causes internalized frustration, blocked ambition, or harshness in the workplace. They grow when they realize force must be guided by structure, not trapped by it. Venus plus Saturn, the patient artisan or the emotionally rigid worker. This pairing combines refinement with responsibility. Leo Rising can work in artistic industries, beauty, law, or financial services where detail and grace matter. They bring elegance to the practical. But afflicted, it makes them hesitant to express affection, overly self-critical, or drained by trying to perfect everything. Healing begins when they embrace rhythm over rigidity and understand that devotion is stronger than perfection. Moon Saturn, the responsible healer or the emotionally guarded servant. This conjunction forces Leo Rising to mature emotionally through daily responsibility. It creates loyalty, reliability, and immense emotional stamina, especially in care-based professions or work involving the public. But early on, it may cause them to shut down feelings at work or carry guilt around not doing enough. They evolve when they allow emotional honesty within disciplined roles and realize that empathy strengthens, not weakens, structure. Mercury plus Saturn, the analytical strategist or the anxious worker. This conjunction makes Leo Rising brilliant in systematic thinking. They may excel in accounting, research, law, or education. Saturn gives their intellect depth and durability. But if afflicted, it breeds negative thinking, intellectual self-doubt, or mental rigidity. True growth comes when they trust the slow bloom of thought and stop rushing results. Precision becomes power when the process is honored. Sun plus Mars, the tireless executor or the workplace dominator. This fiery pair can turn Leo Rising into an unstoppable force at work, assertive, focused, and highly results-driven. Ideal for fields requiring initiative, competition, or emergency leadership. But when imbalanced, it can create aggressive behavior, inability to follow, or workplace conflicts. Their mastery begins when they channel passion into process and lead through steadiness, not urgency. Moon plus Mars, the service fighter or the reactive fixer. This combination gives Leo rising emotional force in day-to-day effort. They can defend, advocate, and serve with heart, especially in health, rescue, or rehabilitation fields. But afflicted, it causes volatility, stress-driven habits, or conflict in team dynamics. Strength is refined when they recognize that emotion is fuel, not instruction, and when they protect without overreacting. Ketu's Mercury, the detached analyst or the isolated intellectual. This subtle conjunction can make Leo rising highly perceptive in systems, diagnostics, or spiritual service. They may work in invisible roles, developing mastery away from the spotlight. But Ketu can also cause difficulty in communication, hesitation in collaborative efforts, or intellectual withdrawal. Their growth begins when they balance clarity with compassion and share insights instead of silently holding them. In summary, Capricorn in the sixth house demands that Leo rising earn their power through patient execution. These conjunctions show how the performer becomes the producer, how presence becomes process. The Sun bows to Saturn here, not in defeat, but in refinement. When integrated, Leo rising no longer needs to prove worth. They embody it through service, steadiness, and the quiet dignity of doing the work no one sees but everyone relies on. This is where the sovereign becomes the steward. The Upachaya houses, conscious growth with time, Leo rising part 4. The 10th house, Taurus, grounded karma, steady reputation, and leadership through value, where the lion learns to build with patience and lead through quiet excellence. For Leo rising, the 10th house, Karma Bhava, the pinnacle of visibility, work, and social responsibility, falls in Taurus, ruled by Venus. Here, the fiery radiance of the sun must channel itself into earthy refinement and enduring legacy. The 10th house defines how Leo rising is seen by the world, and Taurus insists that this recognition be earned not through performance alone, but through consistent, beautiful, practical output. This is not a stage for theatrical fire. It's a studio for building something real. The ego-driven hunger for applause must become a deeper longing to create value that outlasts applause. And Taurus doesn't rush, so Leo must learn to slow down, refine, and build respect, not just receive it. Let's explore the most defining conjunctions in Taurus that shape Leo rising's evolution in career, reputation, and public purpose. Sun's Venus, the graceful leader, or the image-focused achiever. This is a natural blend of beauty and command. Leo rising here carries charm, diplomacy, and elegance in public life. It favors careers in design, luxury, diplomacy, art, or entertainment. But when unevolved, it creates vanity, dependency on external praise, or overinvestment in appearances. True growth happens when they lead from inner harmony, not the mirror, and build a career based on refined contribution, not curated perfection. Sun plus Saturn, the authoritative builder or the burdened executive. This is the weight of karmic leadership. Leo rising with this combination learns to rise slowly, steadily, and sometimes without early validation. In youth, it brings high expectations, emotional detachment at work, or a sense of isolation in authority. But in maturity, they become pillars of strength and responsibility. Their path clears when they stop measuring speed and start honoring substance. Venus plus Mercury, the diplomatic director or the Polish talker. This pairing grants Leo rising finesse in communication, excellent taste, and a gentle yet persuasive leadership style, ideal for media, education, and client-facing professions. But afflicted, it brings indecision, too much focus on presentation, or avoidance of conflict in leadership. They mature when they say what's true, not just what's smooth, and when values take precedence over validation. Moon plus Saturn, the composed leader or the publicly guarded soul. This conjunction creates a responsible, emotionally mature public persona. Leo rising becomes known for reliability, empathy under pressure, and serious commitment to their mission. But early on, it may feel like emotional suppression in professional spaces or an inability to receive praise. Healing unfolds when they reconnect with feeling without letting it disrupt form, and when they realize it's safe to be both strong and seen. Sun Rahu, the magnetic icon or the fame-addicted performer. This conjunction can catapult Leo rising into high visibility through career, especially in glamour industries, social media, or public campaigns. They carry an aura of importance, often exaggerated, sometimes earned. But Rahu can distort the ego, leading to illusions of success or empty recognition. Their karmic lesson is to seek impact over influence and to use the spotlight to illuminate substance, not cast shadows. Saturn plus Venus, the enduring artist or the restrained creator. This pairing gifts Leo rising with aesthetic restraint, architectural patience, and the ability to structure beauty, ideal for design, real estate, fashion, or legal professions involving long-term planning. But early on, it may delay expression or lead to overperfection. Their evolution blooms when they trust slow beauty and understand that timeless work often grows in silence. Mars plus Mercury, the skilled executor or the sharp-tongued boss. In Taurus, this combination gives Leo rising technical precision, persuasive energy, and hands-on leadership. They can manage teams, handle strategy, or build enterprises from the ground up. But when imbalanced, this leads to impatience with subordinates, harsh communication, or restless overplanning. Maturity comes when they pace their drive and recognize that systems, not just speed, create results. Ketu plus Sun, the invisible authority or the silent architect. This conjunction detaches Leo rising from egoic need for recognition. They may reject the spotlight or feel unseen despite effort. In early life, there may be struggles with public identity or fragmented career paths. But in time, this becomes a signature of humble mastery. They shine by creating systems others rely on, without needing applause. Their legacy is rooted, not loud. In summary, Taurus in the 10th house asks Leo rising to turn brilliance into reliability, charm into craft, and ambition into architecture. These conjunctions define whether their public life is built for admiration or for endurance. The Venusian tone insists that dignity must be earned through grace, not just asserted through confidence. When integrated, Leo rising becomes not just a performer, but a professional of presence, value, and timeless contribution. This is where the throne is not seized, but built, one refined act at a time. The Upachaya houses Conscious Growth with Time, Leo Rising Part 5. The 11th house, Gemini, versatile networks, intelligent influence, and multiplying gains through voice, where the lion learns to listen and the king's circle becomes a forum for ideas. For Leo Rising, the 11th house, Labhasthana, the house of ambitions, gains, networks, and long-term vision, falls in Gemini, ruled by Mercury. After learning the art of slow, value-based leadership in Taurus. 10th, Leo now steps to Gemini's fast-moving, intellectual, and adaptable world. This is not a realm of dominion, it's a marketplace of minds. Leo's natural charisma must now integrate dialogue, flexibility, and mental dexterity. This house tests whether Leo rising can truly share space, evolve their vision through others, and apply intelligence over dominance. It pushes them to let go of the need to control the spotlight and instead use their voice to create resonance. When mature, Leo rising in the 11th becomes not just admired, but mentally trusted as a collaborative leader who helps move the collective forward. Let's explore the defining conjunctions in Gemini that shape how Leo rising matures through social structures and strategic gains. Sun Mercury, the intellectual influencer, or the self-focused spokesperson. This radiant pair gives Leo rising a sharp tongue and natural stage presence in social spheres. They may become speakers, strategists, or public intellectuals with strong networks. But if afflicted, it brings arrogance in discussion, poor listening, or the urge to dominate every conversation. They grow when they speak to uplift, not to be right, and when they treat every ally as a mirror of expansion, not competition. Sun's Rahu, the viral visionary or the fame-fueled idealist. This is a high-voltage conjunction for digital influence, sudden gains, or bold innovation in networks. Leo rising may find themselves leading movements, going viral, or reshaping thought trends. But Rahu can distort intent, creating a hunger for approval, inflated self-image, or unstable goals. They evolve when they stop chasing visibility and start building resonance, realizing that true impact doesn't require constant spectacle. Mercury's Mars, the tactical connector, or the argumentative ally. This pairing gives Leo rising the mind of a commander, fast, witty, and assertive in group dynamics. They excel in campaigns, startups, or collaborative innovation. But afflicted, it leads to sharp speech, competitiveness in friendships, or scattered execution. Growth begins when they temper urgency with dialogue, and remember that strategy shines brightest when shared with humility. Venus plus Mercury, the social charmer or the approval-seeking collaborator. Here, Leo rising exudes charm, grace, and diplomacy in social circles. They may thrive in artistic networks, media spaces, or communities built on shared beauty and intellect. But when afflicted, they may avoid tough conversations or mold themselves to fit in. Real maturity arrives when they choose integrity over impression and use their magnetism to elevate, not edit, their truth. Jupiter plus Mercury, the expansive networker or the opinion overloader. This creates a thought leader archetype, someone whose ideas travel far and gather momentum. Leo rising becomes a group educator, mentor, or wise connector. Yet if afflicted, it leads to preaching, verbosity, or unrealistic social ideals. Their gift deepens when they replace answers with inquiry and let their words serve purpose, not just projection. Moon plus Mercury, the empathic facilitator or the reactive networker. This sensitive pairing grants Leo rising the ability to read the emotional tones of groups and respond with clarity. They may become mediators, emotionally intelligent team leaders, or heartful writers. But afflicted, it causes mood-driven communication or avoidance of logic. Their evolution depends on balancing heart and head, honoring emotion without losing focus. Mars plus Rahu, the disruptive innovator or the attention-seeking fighter. This combination fuels ambition and social risk-taking. Leo rising may pursue bold platforms, tech projects, or activism with fierce drive. But afflicted, it leads to controversy, erratic alliances, or gains that don't last. Power is integrated when they lead movements, not mobs, and when their courage serves something greater than self-branding. Moon plus Venus, the graceful collaborator, or the sentimental strategist. This sweet conjunction makes Leo rising emotionally appealing in friendships and group work. They may gain through mentorship, artistic collectives, or emotionally fulfilling causes. But when imbalanced, it brings emotional dependency, idealism in networks, or difficulty asserting needs. They grow when they nurture without overmerging, and bring warmth to strategy without compromising clarity. In summary, Gemini in the 11th house teaches Leo rising that the mind is a magnet. These conjunctions show whether they'll use that magnetism to gather meaning or just followers. The House of Gains is not about collecting people, it's about collaborating with purpose. Leo learns here that greatness is multiplied when shared, and that brilliance is brighter when reflected through dialogue, depth, and collective direction. When integrated, Leo rising becomes not just a leader of people, but a catalyst of intelligent change.